The Destiny 2 Final Shape Showcase will be on August 22nd with the release of Season 22. The question of a third Darkness subclass will be the main topic for today's video. We got Stasis with Beyond Light, which a lot of people have said is like the ice basic subclass. We've gotten Strand, which is more focused on using, of course, the grapple hook. And when it comes to the last Darkness subclass, the third Darkness subclass, we will be talking about it on what Bungie is going to likely bring to the table. If you guys do enjoy, please be sure to subscribe. But other than that, let's get right into it. The question of a third Darkness subclass going to happen in the final shape is a question that we need to ask ourselves, but Bungie has fairly teased this a lot recently. They teased it right before the release of the Lightfall, and they've been teasing it since the release of Beyond Light when Stasis was revealed. When Stasis was, of course, given out to us, we could easily just go to our character screen, and when we were going to switch to a Darkness subclass, the word Darkness subclass is, when we wanted to select it, was plural. That's already a huge implication that Bungie had the idea of enhancing our Darkness subclasses. With Bungie, of course, changing in the Witch Queen year to enhance our Light subclasses, being Void, Arc, and Solar, and then giving out another whole year wait for the Strand subclass to happen, we don't know when Bungie's development has been doing or will be doing throughout this year before the final shape's reveal. And yet we don't have a release date with the final shape. It is likely going to release of February 2024. Another huge hint to the idea of a third Darkness subclass is when Bungie was talking about Strand and the aspects and fragments of it prior to the launch of Lightfall, one of the questions that was asked was about a other Darkness subclass if Bungie was interested in enhancing that power fantasy. They said, and I quote, "If you asked me this after Stasis, I wouldn't have been remotely putting myself in the mindset of what Strand could be. I think, should we sit down and think about a space of a new power, I have all the confidence in the world that the team we've assembled on combat gameplay can pull it off." The release of Strand with Lightfall was a bit controversial to many. People have said that the release of Strand was great, and people say the subclass was amazing. However, one big downfall with Strand is that it took the narrative front of the campaign on a big different direction than the expansion was supposed to tell. The story, in my eyes, and a lot of people's eyes I could say, was supposed to be focused more on Callus, the Witness, the Traveler, and the Veil. But Strand kind of took a huge front in that story, and yet we didn't really need to have to what many have said, a tutorial on learning the power of Strand, yet there was many more things going on at the time. So in terms of the delivery of another, subclass to the narrative, many are worried if Bungie will play out the same thing that they did with the said Strand subclass. But that's going a bit too much, as Bungie's delivery with previous expansions when it came to other Darkness subclasses has been fairly well received. Over the years, you guys know we have gotten Strand and Stasis being the two Darkness subclasses, but over the years since Beyond Light, many have teased is that the Darkness subclasses are inversions of the Light subclass's color, which many have found fairly interesting and might be a big implication into what the third Darkness subclass color will be. As you guys know, the Solar subclass Fire, which is a bright orange color, is the inversion of Stasis, which is a deep blue color. The power of Void, which is dark purple, is the inversion of Strand, which is a bright green color. But when it comes to the Arc-based subclass, the inversion of that is deep red/brown. So that has gotten many to wonder that the power would be around that deep red, deep brown type color for the final Darkness subclass. And the main thing I want to point out here with what the third Darkness subclass really will be is that we've been in a little bit of a pattern, I should say. Not entirely a same, very, noticeable pattern, but it's something I wanted to tell you guys about. With the power of Stasis, we were told to go to Europa, and the Darkness led us to Stasis and then gave us the power of it, basically. It was that we would follow the Darkness into, this desolate wasteland to obtain the power of the ice block, as I like to call it, because it's basically just ice. Yes, guys, I know it's blue, but it's ice. And with the power of Strand 2 years later with Lightfall, we would go out on our own terms to find the power of Strand. We had no implications prior to that. Only the thing we knew is that before Rasputin killed himself, he basically told us that there was a huge, Neptunian city on Neptune, obviously, and it housed a paracausal object known as the Veil. Now, I haven't watched Bife's videos, know if the Strand and Veil are connected or whatever, but basically my own picture is that we went to Neptune, we found the power of Strand, basically in the second mission, and there you go. And we of course would enhance it with the knowledge that we would get from, of course, the Cloud Striders and Osiris. When it comes to the third power of the darkness subclass, knowing that it's going to be maybe the power of the red, of the brown, I would say it's the true power of the darkness. Now, something that I feel that's fairly similar to the power of red, to the power of deep red, orange, brown, is the power that Rolk, Nezarec, and the power of Callus, the disciples of the Witness, had. When they, of course, I don't know really how the ritual begins to become a disciple, but as soon as they did, they would have this power of the Witness, the power of a true disciple to the said Witness, and it's a pretty strong power, I would guess, if you could just summon whatever you would. I don't really know what the power is, but it's pretty cool, as if Cal could summon a machine gun and Rolk could summon a huge blade, I think the power is pretty cool for my picture. But looking at that from a broader standpoint, the Witness gave them the true power of, I would say, the darkness. Now, when it comes to the final shape, obviously we are going to kill the Witness. I don't think they're going to play an Infinity War type ending to the Light and Dark saga. The question is if that's going to be played in the campaign or the raid, if we're going to kill the Witness. But the main thing is, if it succeeds, we need to have the power to have the darkness. We need to have the power of truly what the darkness is, and that is the power of the Witness. The power of the Witness is something that I would love to have as a Guardian, because we could just do so much fancy shit around. But more than that, I feel like that's what Bungie's aiming for. We don't really know truly what the power of the Witness is, and that's kind of like how it is. It's a paracausal type entity, same as the Traveler, but how cool would it be as soon as, who knows what will happen in the final shape if the Traveler and Witness is gone, then who's left us being the final shape of this universe? How cool that we would be able to wield both powers, both identities, so we would have that yellow resin type power. That's how I'm thinking of it, but again, time will tell on Bungie's part when we will see this. Of course, we'll get a reveal of the final shape expansion on August 22nd, with the likely reveal of them releasing whatever they have next, being the last darkness subclass for the Light and Dark saga. If you guys did enjoy this video, please be sure to subscribe and like, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye guys.